Welcome everybody to our live pregame show. On today's episode, we have the breakdown for the offense and defense. We have our game predictions, our bowl predictions, all on the Pride Podcast. Oh, wait. By the way, Tyler, I just want to let you know there's no video. We don't have a Carl Collins Lions video.
No. Wait, so we're just jumping right into it?
But I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be okay with it. In honor of the Detroit Tigers making the playoffs, I do have a video.
Tigers video?
I have a video from Carl Collins. This is the Tigers, man. Let's go.
Oh shit, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this.
Special teams do special things. And when I asked you in the middle of the season, remember I asked you what kind of team do you want to be? I guess you wanted to be a playoff team.
AJ Hinch is manager of the year. The best manager in Major League Baseball. Look at what he's doing and who he's doing it with.
This is a team that's putting pressure on everybody. They're putting pressure on the world right now.
The best organizations in baseball right now are not only acquiring that talent, they're getting the absolute most out of that talent.
What AJ Hinch is doing, managing this team, is one of the greatest performances we've ever seen in this city.
A city that doesn't care about the odds has a baseball team to match. Parker Meadows with a Meadows said no thank you. The absolute torque bomb to left. Somebody alert NASA.
Swing and a miss. Got him. Fastball up and away.
Tarek Skubal owns this mound.
Got him on strikes. Tigers win.
The hottest team in baseball just got hotter. It's actually happening.
Now, Tyler, I know that wasn't a Lions video.
Holy shit, I don't give a fuck if it was an Alliance video. Oh my god.
I know it wasn't a Lions video, but I know, shout out to the Tigers, man. I mean, I don't know. Did they start off like rough? Like, did you guys think you guys were going to go to the playoffs or?
Hell no. Hell no. We didn't think we were going to the playoffs. I know we're going to talk about Lions too, guys. I know this not everyone doesn't care about the Tigers, but we're going to make it quick. The Tigers had a 0.2% chance in early August of making the playoffs. Ooh. A 0.2% chance.
Ooh.
And they have been the hottest team in baseball since mid-August, going all the way to September. I'm so proud of these boys. I can't wait for freaking tomorrow, man. I'm excited for tonight. We got an amazing week of sports. We got the Lions tonight. We got game 1 tomorrow. I don't know where this ride is going to take us to the Detroit Tigers, but my goodness, I am excited. And I'll sacrifice the Lions video this week to watch a Carl Collins Tigers video. My God, that was amazing. Electrifying.
So the grit mentality from the Lions football transferred over to the Tigers.
Came right next door.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Congrats to you guys, man.
Yeah, it was it's been awesome, man. You know, it's a 10-year drought. We were the longest. I mean, kind of like the Lions. Like, you know, the Lions were the longest drought team to win a playoff game last year, and then they broke that streak. And the Tigers and the Angels were the longest drought teams to ever make the playoffs. You know, it's been 10 years. So I was 13 years old last time they made it. So I can't freaking wait, man. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. But we start off with today. We got Detroit Lions, Seattle Seahawks, Monday Night Football, man. I can't be more excited for that, too. We got the return of the black uniforms. I mean, when's the last one with the black uniforms, man? It's been a minute.
What was that, 2007? Is it 7? Is it
been a minute. I don't have the date in front of me, but I know it's deep. So it's been a while. I think Dan Campbell was a Lion last time they wore him. So playing on the playing field. So
yeah, maybe 2010, 2011, maybe.
Yeah,
2010.
Like
somewhere.
All
it's
right.
Deep.
Let's get into the inactive report. I think let's start off with the Lions one first, Malcolm. And I think we could both agree when we were at that game in Arizona last week, we thought this would be a lot worse. So you can go ahead and do that inactive report.
Yeah, we sure did, because these guys are flying out. They're getting hurt left and right. It was terrible. But so with this inactive list, the Detroit Lions, we have Brian Branch. He's inactive today. I know he has an illness, but he'll definitely be back next week. Offensive lineman Frank Ragnow, our center, he is inactive. Offensive lineman Giovanni Manu, he is inactive. And wide receiver Isaiah Williams. Yerp.
Not bad. Hey, Sam Laporta, McNeil, those guys are all out there. So that's huge for this Lions team. And hey, man, those Seattle Seahawks have had our number the last 3 years. It's time to get some revenge. I was trying to think about it.
3 years?
It's been 3 years in a row since Dan Campbell's been here. They've never beat the Seattle Seahawks.
Tyler, they won 9 of their last 10 meetings against us, bro.
I was just thinking the Dan Campbell. Yeah, I was literally just gonna bring that up. I don't think I've ever seen the Lions ever beat the Seahawks ever in my life.
We only beat them one time. We lost 6 in a row, so we're in a 6 in a row hole, and they won 9 of their last 10, bro. This can't be it. They cannot win today.
I could remember the last 5 of them. So obviously last year, the one game we went to a couple years ago. I know the 1 year in 21 when we played them in their place, they beat us, and then the playoff game obviously in 16, and then the back game in 2015 Monday Night Football. It was actually Monday Night Football 2 in Seattle, the Calvin Johnson game where they caused a fumble and the legal bad ball. So it's time to get our revenge, man. Those Seattle Seahawks, they have owned our number for way too long. So it is time to break that streak. The Tigers broke their streak. The Lions broke their playoff streak last year. Let's break the Seattle Seahawks streak, man. If there's something that's going to turn this franchise around, it's being the Seattle Seahawks.
Damn, man. It's still wild to me that this one damn team was like, it seems like we could never beat them. Like they're not even that good. Like it kills me.
Yeah.
It kills me.
I feel like the games are always like classics too. Like last year was a crazy game. The game 2 years ago was really crazy. The game even 3 years ago. I mean, I know it wasn't a very important game for the Lions because it was a late December game, whatever, and they were out of it. But like they're always super high scoring games. So maybe that's a indication to take the over in this game. I don't know. So all right, let's get to the Seahawks inactive report. We got here, brother. I'm gonna struggle a little bit with some of these names, so I'm not too familiar with them. But I'm gonna try. So we're going to start off with linebacker Uchenna Nwosu. He's inactive. I know that's one of their starters. We got linebacker Jerome Baker. We got linebacker Boy Mafe. We got offensive guard Sitehu Lemay. We got tackle Michael Gerald. We got defensive tackle Byron Murphy II. And we got defensive end Leonard Williams. So a lot of crucial pieces on their defense and a lot of crucial guys on their front seven that is going to be missing from the Seattle Seahawks this Monday.
Yeah. And when me and Pierre did the episode earlier in the week and we saw that injury report, we just wasn't sure about if these guys were getting rest or if these guys were really banged up and really hurt. And looking at this inactive list, that answers my question. These guys are really damn hurt.
Yeah.
Most of their starters, especially the defensive line, Boy Mafe and Leonard Williams, that's huge. Those are 2 of their best players on their defensive line, and they're hurt. Do we run the ball? Do we pound the rock?
Well, I think that's a perfect segue. Obviously we talk about the keys of the offense, and it's like, I think that's where you have to start. I think it's kind of been the Lions' bread and butter. Like we saw last week in Arizona, they kind of got back to their bread and butter. Let Demo cook, let Gibbs cook. And when you take some pressure off of Goff, where he's not throwing the ball 50 times like you had him throwing that Tampa Bay game, you're going to get a better version of Jared Goff, and you're just going to get a better version of this offense. And I think we could still comfortably say for the first 3 weeks, like this offense has been okay, but I think there's still a next tier to it that we haven't fully seen from it. Like last year, I think we really saw the potential of that offense and kind of running it back, bringing a lot of the same guys back. I'm still kind of waiting to see that offense from last year. We've seen it in spurts. We just haven't seen it for a full game consistently. And now with some Seattle Seahawks injuries, you had some extra rest playing on Monday Night Football. Maybe the Lions could get back on track this week, or maybe it happens after the bye. But I think this is a good matchup with all the injuries. You're healthy on offense. I know you're missing Frank, so obviously there's going to be a bit of adjustment on the offensive line. But I think, like you said, man, I think the game plan has to go from the running game. And obviously Goff's going to be involved, but I think it has to start with Demo and Jahmyr Gibbs this game.
Yeah, especially with them missing a lot of pieces on their defensive line, man. I think we should, definitely run the ball. I mean, I'm hoping this is the week that the Lions actually get it together offensively, and it looked like the team that we saw last year, where they're dominant on offensively on they're running and also passing. I just think it may take a couple weeks. I still think it's for some reason, because those guys did not play preseason snaps. I honestly feel like it may be a few more weeks, maybe after the bye too. You see them go clicking on all cylinders offensively, but I like the matchup because of the injuries on Seattle and just defensively with those guys out. I think we will have our way with them.
So how do you feel about obviously Frank Ragnar not being there? It's obviously a big loss for this Lions offensive line. Do you think they'll be able to adjust finally without him?
I think they'll be just fine because I think the plan is moving Graham Glasgow to center and then plug it in O'Shea Ashika as guard. And when O'Shea Ashika played last year at guard, I believe he played the playoff game. He played really well. I mean, it looked like we didn't skip a beat in the playoffs when he filled in that role. So I think he'll be able to go in there and fill in the role good. And I think Graham is going to be all right as a center.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. Obviously, Ragnar missed a couple of games last year. I mean, dude's an absolute warrior. I feel like it's not going to be super long term with him, even though he has a serious injury. It's just with Ragnar, he's going to play through it. And obviously, I think they went the smart route, holding him out this week. You got a bye week. Maybe you can get him out there in that Dallas game after the bye week. But overall, I think the offensive line play will still be fine because it's not like a whole makeshift. I mean, you are moving some pieces. You're moving Graham from guard now to center, and then obviously you're not plug and playing Coyote Oshika. But I've said it multiple times throughout the years, when you have a lot of good pieces around the offensive line, it's not too devastating when you're only plugging in one guy in there. I think one guy you could help it mask out, and kind of like you mentioned it, NFC Championship game last year, we had Oshika step in the Niners game when Jordan Jackson was out, and we didn't really miss a beat on the offensive line. It wasn't like there was anything glaring where Oshika was getting beat every play. I think it comes more of a problem when you start losing 2-3 guys on the offensive line. When you're losing only one and you're making a makeshift from that, I don't think it's as big of a problem. Obviously, not having Ragnar out there is going to be big, and it's going to suck, obviously. But I think they could adjust, and especially with Seattle missing a lot of guys on that front seven, it kind of almost cancels out, in my opinion. When you cancel out, when you look at Seattle's situation now, you look at the line situation without Ragnar. So I think they should be just fine with plug and play Oshika, a guy who's been here for a couple of years now. It's not like he's a rookie, so I feel like you feel pretty comfortable with him in there for a game or two.
Yeah, I think it's business as usual. I think they run the rock between Monty and Gibbs. I think with the offensive line that we have, the guys that's out there, I think we still can get the job done.
Absolutely, and obviously you're going to still have the passing game involved. Who's a guy you look for in the passing game to get more involved? Is it going to be an Amon-Ra St. Brown type of game, JMO, Laporta? Like, who's one guy on offense in the passing game, or it could even be one of the running backs that you see having an impact in the passing game?
I'm looking at Sam Laporta. I'm seeing, in this game, this matchup, I would want the Lions to get Sam Laporta involved in the offense, especially down the middle, or, just getting him involved in general because, we look at the Seattle Seahawks, their secondary is pretty good as far as the names they have there. I think they could definitely hold their own with their secondary. I'm not saying to completely eliminate our wide receivers, but you definitely want to get Sam Laporta involved this game. I think out of all the games that you would want him to get involved, I think this is the game right here that you'd want Sam Laporta to get involved.
I feel like that was kind of like his coming out party was last year too. Obviously, when we played the Seahawks, it was that week 2 game, and we had a lot of injuries in that game, kind of like last week a little bit. And he was the guy that stepped up, and obviously we didn't win the game, but he was the one guy that was kind of his coming out party, and that's when he started to become the player that we know he could be, obviously. And we haven't really seen it from him yet this year, dealing with some injuries coming into the season, dealing with the injury last week in Arizona. But Dan Campbell said he's good to go. One guy I'm looking for offensively to get involved mightily is Jahmyr Gibbs. I just feel like there's something about Monday Night Football, those black uniforms. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a game. I don't know what it is. They're missing some linebackers. I can see Jahmyr Gibbs getting involved in the running and passing game as well. So that's one guy I'm looking for Goff to get involved in this game big time.
Jahmyr Gibbs, that's another name right there, man. Absolutely. I like that. I like getting him involved, especially in passing. I think in the passing game, I think it's very underrated right now, getting him involved in the passing game, because I think he's a mismatch for any linebacker or safety. So I think they should, try to utilize that more, getting him involved in the passing game and see him, get him out in space.
Yeah, and they're missing 3 of their starting linebackers in this game. So, you're counting on a lot of backup second string guys to step up, and it's like you're asked to go guard Jahmyr Gibbs at home, and in his home turf. Like, I feel like it's a very tough matchup. So I don't know. I'm expecting that game. I don't know what it is. It's that Monday Night Football game last year when we played the Raiders. I just feel like Gibbs is going to have one of those type of games today. It's a gut feeling. I don't know. I feel like with some of the injuries on their defensive line and their linebacker room, I'm just looking for a big game from Jahmyr this week.
Yeah. And it's like you said with the linebackers being banged up. That's why I figured Sam Laporta. This should definitely be his game for Sam Laporta. When you look at what the Seahawks gave up to the New England Patriots when they played the Patriots, Hunter Henry went off. He completely went off. It looked like the old Hunter Henry when he played them. He went on for 8 catches, 109 yards.
Oh wow.
So
that's great.
yeah. So this is a game where you look at Sam Laporta and you could definitely attack that linebacking core. With the way he is, I mean, he's a very dynamic tight end. So I think this is the game. I think if you want to play the over for Sam Laporta for the yardage, hell, even the Sam Laporta touchdown, I'm calling it now. Sam Laporta touchdown this game.
Okay. Might have to put a little side wager on that.
Might have to put a little side wager on it.
All right, let's get into this defense now. Obviously, no Brian Branch dealing with that illness, like you said. Obviously, had to check out of the game last week with the head injury. What do you think about this defense? And obviously, the Seattle Seahawks offense. You know, obviously they've given Aaron Glenn a lot of problems the last 2 years, or the last 3 years, honestly.
Yeah, they've been giving us hell the past 3 years, especially Geno Smith. For some reason, we play Geno Smith. He looks like somebody else. He doesn't look like Geno Smith. He looks like somebody else. Might look like Josh Allen when he plays against it. I don't know what the hell it is, but he turns to a different animal. But this is gonna be different. I think our defensive line still gonna be able to put that same pressure. Aiden Hutchinson's still there, and DJ Reader, all those guys, Lee McNeil, those guys are still there. That's not really a problem. I want to see the adjustment of the absence of Brian Branch and to see if Brandon Joseph could come in and fill some type of role. He played well in preseason, but damn it, he's not no Brian Branch. So missing Brian Branch is gonna be tough, man, because we're looking at like straight coverage wise. He's probably the best cover guy. He's probably the best cover guy. I mean, as far as covering tight ends and getting PBUs and all that stuff and getting those big hits. I think Brian Branch is huge, man. I think missing Brian Branch's game is going to be bigger than we think it is. I'm just hoping Brandon Joseph can fill in some type of role, and it's not that much of a huge impact.
The big thing for me is, and I feel a little more comfortable after watching last week is, and this is not even like the same ballpark, but like, obviously, the last times we played the Seahawks, the bootleg has been absolute killer for the Lions. They had no answer for those bootlegs at all when they have played Seattle. And something that used to be a very big problem for the Lions too last year and 2 years ago, and just since Aaron Glenn's honestly been here, is mobile quarterbacks. And Geno Smith is not necessarily a mobile quarterback by any means, but he can move in the pocket when he has to move in the pocket. But I will say, we got tested last week with our first test of the year with playing a mobile quarterback, who I think is one of the better mobile quarterbacks in the league right now, in Kyler Murray. And I think for the most part, they shut him down pretty well. They held him accountable very well. For a guy that likes to run out of the pocket, pick up some gritty yards. Obviously, he did it a couple times last year. Not going to completely eliminate that from the game. But for the most part, it didn't feel like one of those games when we play a mobile quarterback, the game is just over, or the defense gives up 30-plus points. So, like, they did a very good job, holding them to very little to no points. Only 13 points all game. And that was even with the offense, sometimes putting them in some bad situation where Goff throws a bad interception or whatever it is, right? Like the Lions offense not sustaining a drive and having to punt it right away. Like, defense answered all the callings last week, even with something they have had their biggest kryptonite since Aaron Glenn has been here, mobile quarterback. So I feel a little more comfortable seeing that now. I feel like there's a better possibility that we should be able to stop Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense, or at least not stop them, but at least limit them and not have them do what they have done to us the last 2 years. Like, they should be able to punt it a couple times. Not like that game 2 years ago where they didn't punt it a single time the whole game. So,
fuck. Don't remind me about that. Don't remind me about that game.
They have had our number. So, I feel a little more comfortable though watching how the defense played last week versus the Cardinals, bringing it over and out to this week.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job setting the edge. Only allowing Kyler Murray to get 45 yards, which is, I mean, in total, I mean, like they held the team in general under 80 yards. The whole, combined rushing yard, they had under 80. So that's a big kudos to Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn came in this year, wanted to stop the run. Damn it, if you're a quarterback, running back, he gonna do his job to stop the run. And that's the goal he had. And it looked like they're doing it. Now, it's gonna be a little bit different. And the reason I say that because the way they get Geno Smith out the pocket is a little bit different from the way the Cardinals get Kyler Murray out the pocket. They utilize the bootleg a lot in Seattle to get Geno Smith out of the pocket. I really hope that we can contain it. Now, having Alex as a lone back is going to be huge.
That's huge.
That's huge because I think he's gonna be a difference maker in stopping that whole bootleg. Getting that tight end covered and making sure that even the tight end gets the ball, he can get tackled right away. So I think Alexander Sloan is another huge name that's actually playing this week.
I mean, this secondary has to step up because one thing we're comfortable when we talk about a Lions defense is the run defense. Now, like with Kenneth Walker, I know he's a great running back. Zach Charbonnet is even a very good running back. But like I'm just so confident this Lions run defense week in and week out. It's like I'm not even really worried about those guys, especially with Kenneth Walker coming off an injury, hasn't played the last couple of weeks. I feel like we should do a pretty good job at limiting those guys. So it's going to really, I think, come down to could you stop Geno Smith in this passing game? Could you stop DK Metcalf? Could you stop JSN? Could you stop Tyler Lockett? Like you have to get these guys out of the game plan. And obviously, like I said, you're not going to completely shut them down, but if you have to limit them as much as you can. And so far, the Lions defense, like I said, they have answered the calls in some tough situations for the most part all year long. I know it's only been 3 weeks, so this will be a big test for them because they got a lot of good players in this offense.
Yeah, and in the 3 weeks that we played, man, it looks like the defense been the spotlight for this team. They've been holding teams, under their average. Even when we played the loss that we had, even when we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we held Baker Mayfield way under his passing average. He came in averaging like almost 300 yards, 400 yards, and he comes plays us, and then he had like $150 or something like that. It was, we really held him down, and I think that the defense is doing a really good job, especially with the running game. They're taking that away. They're making teams one-dimensional, and we're going to do that again this week. Make the Seahawks one-dimensional. And let's see if Geno Smith can beat us. I mean, I know he did that shit every time he played us. But can he do it again? God damn it.
Well, 2 years ago was a little different because they were running and passing versus us. Last year, we kind of took the running game away, but Geno Smith killed us. So now, can we put them both together? We stopped the running game last year. Can we stop the passing game? Now, that's going to be
damn it.
That's going to be I think that's going to be the big difference in this game, and that's what we're going to see. But like you said, man, I know you mentioned passing game and shutting down quarterbacks, but running games have just done absolutely nothing against us. Like James Conner, the first 3 weeks or the first 4 weeks he played yesterday, right? Like he's been great all year outside that game versus the Lions. Tampa Bay, I know Rachaad White hasn't been the guy, but that rookie Bucky Irving, I saw him yesterday, man, versus the Philadelphia Eagles. That guy looks legit. He didn't really do much versus the Lions either. And then week 1, Kyron Williams, I know he got a touch on that game, but for the most part, shutting him down. Kyron Williams looked like an absolute beast these last 3 weeks. So, I mean, K9 and Charbonnet, they obviously give you some difficulties. They're a good running tandem, but this Lions run defense right now is, I mean, it's been early, but what they showed you last year and what they've done so far in this first month of the season, it could arguably be the best run defense in the whole league right now. And there's no reason not to believe that with how they're shutting down running backs week in and week out.
Yeah, I'm based on yards. They're number 3. I think they're probably number 1 though, because I think some of those teams are, they played, bad teams that don't really run the ball much, and that kind of inflate their stats a bit. But I think Detroit Lions may legit have the number 1 running defense in the league. They're just able to shut everybody down.
I mean, I was watching the game with you last week. We're in Arizona, right? We're in the stadium, right? I'm like, I dare them to run the ball. I want to see them run with James Conner to see how it goes. Every time, 1 yard run. It reminds me of watching Najee Harris right now in that Pittsburgh Steelers offense. When I watch running backs trying to run versus the Lions defense. No shade to them. That's complete shade to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's 100% shade. God damn.
I hate the Steelers, but that's a different. That's a different.
Are they like your new Are they your new Seahawks? I know you used to hate the Seahawks.
The Seahawks, I used to get pissed off because Pete Carroll's the way he chewed his gum pissed me off. But teams I just hate watching are the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. I can't stand them. They're just not fun teams to watch. They're pathetic. They're pathetic. Their offense are pathetic. And I hate the Steelers the most because they find ways to win every single year. They make the playoffs every single year just to get waxed in the first round every single year. I hate the Steelers. No, I'm sorry. I know there's nothing to do with the Steelers.
A perfect comparison. This is getting way off track right now, but a perfect comparison of the Steelers right now is the Broncos when they had Tim fucking Tebow, bro.
Yeah. Great defense, terrible offense, but they just
they just find ways to win, and they're not in the playoffs. It's like, what the hell? How did they get there? But yeah,
it happens every year with them, and I'm sick of them. Yeah,
totally off topic, but yeah.
My fault. But all right,
No, you're fine.
let's do some predictions now for this game. I got Pierce predictions. I will give you guys a shout out. I lost my first lock of the week, and you guys both won last week, so I sold last week or yesterday.
This week. That was this week.
Yeah, well, yesterday. Yeah, I sold this
yesterday.
Week. Yeah. I bet on my boys on Kyler.
Washington's for real, man. I'm saying it now.
I like Jaden Daniels, man. He looks good, dude.
He's a fucking real deal.
He looks real.
All
right. So let's read off these Lions predictions. So as far as records and talking about the spread, we missed last week, so we're not counting the Cardinals game. Me and Malcolm are both 2-0 on the spread. Pierre is 1-1. So we'll start off with Pierre, him being in last place. He is taking the Lions to win and cover the 4.5 spread. He has the Lions winning 31-24. His bold prediction is Jared Goff.
5 touchdowns?
400 yards, 3 touchdowns. No picks.
Okay.
Not 5 touchdowns.
Not 5 touchdowns? Shit.
Not 5 touchdowns.
Yo, for people that don't know what we mean by that, I was an asshole in Arizona that I was running around saying, yeah, this is the week Jared Goff going to throw for 5 touchdowns. Everybody was like, yeah, you're fucking crazy, Malcolm. Not happening.
A little too many high noons, huh?
Yeah, too many. One too many. God damn. Damn.
All right. What do you
No, I think you should go. I'm still thinking about this right now, so go ahead.
Okay. I got a prediction. All right. Taking the Lions to win. Taking them to cover. I like that 4.5. I think they cover. Let's go Lions. Let's go 28-17. Lions won by 11 this week. And bold prediction is Jahmyr Gibbs has an absolute day today. Let's go 75 bold, 75 receiving yards, 75 rushing yards bold. Is that bold enough?
Wait, how much?
75 each, receiving and rushing.
Rushing?
Yeah,
make it a good 100, man.
Let's make it bold. 100 each. He goes 200 all-purpose yards. 200 all-purpose yards.
200. You know what? If he was the full-time back, I think he can easily obtain that number. Easily.
It's the Gibbs game today. That's my
Gibbs
bold.
game? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm up. So I'm going to say the Lions end this goddamn streak against this goddamn team and finally get the W. And we're going to cover the spread. If we don't win this game, I'm gonna come back up. I'm gonna be levels of hot, that levels of angry that we haven't seen in a while. But yeah, the Lions win this game. The Lions cover the spread. I'm gonna say 27-21 Lions. And my bold prediction, this is pretty bold because I believe every game we give up a good amount of yards to a receiver. The first game it was it Cooper Kupp or was it was Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp went off over 100. Week 2, Godwin went off over 100. Last week wasn't he really do much.
Marvin Harrison had a nice start to the game. I feel like we did a good job. We held him accountable after that that first touchdown.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this. I'm not sure how bold this is. DK Metcalf under 50 yards. Is that bold?
That's good enough, I guess.
Are you sure? I can say under 30.
Under 25. It's under 25.
Under 25. That just doesn't sound right.
All right, fine. Under 30. Under 30?
Under 30. They're under 30 yards for DK Metcalf.
Okay. That's bold. Yes.
I don't
he could do that. I don't believe
it. I don't believe
I don't believe in Mike Gibbs one either. You made me say 100. I don't believe in that either.
It's like I'm saying it now. I was like, I have no faith in that. I have zero faith.
It could be one play where he gets 30 yards.
It's going to be one play he's gonna get 30 yards.
That's how he is usually. He could have big games, obviously, with like 9-10 catches in the game, but I feel like a lot of the big DK games is where he has like 160-70 yard catch in the game, and that's how he rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you roll with it. Under 30 yards. Okay. I like it.
Fuck it.
All right, guys. That is going to be a wrap this episode. We will see you guys after the game. Hopefully I'll be there. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna try to make it. So we'll see how that goes.
All right.
We'll see how that goes.
If not, it'll just be me.
And Malcolm will be there for sure. So we'll have a post-game show for sure. So you guys have something to tune into after the game. And hey guys, it's a big week, man. Got Lions football starting today. Tigers baseball tomorrow. Tigers baseball Wednesday. Let's have a week, boys. Let's have a week.
Let's go.
I'm out, guys. And Malcolm, we've done this last couple weeks in our pregame shows.
You want to play?
I'm gonna ask for it. I want to watch that video one more time. I know everyone's excited for the Lions right now.
Yeah, everybody's excited for the Lions right now.
I'm excited for my baseball team.
Fuck it, Tigers it is.
Yes,
baseball fans, all the baseball fans out there that excited about your Detroit Tigers. Here's Carl Collins with the Detroit Tigers.
Let's go.
Special teams do special things. And when I asked you in the middle of the season, remember I asked you, what kind of team do you want to be? I guess you wanted to be a playoff team.
AJ Hinch is manager of the year. The best manager in Major League Baseball. Look at what he's doing and who he's doing it with.
This is a team that's putting pressure on everybody. They're putting pressure on the world right now.
The best organizations in baseball right now are not only acquiring that talent, they're getting the absolute most out of that talent.
What AJ Hinch is doing, managing this team, is one of the greatest performances we've ever seen in this city.
A city that doesn't care about the odds has a baseball team to match.